Welcome back to Muscle Party, the internet's #1 destination for cow chop fans looking for the absolute last drop of 2019 nostalgia. Hey guys, click that like button if you remember the Trey bit. Trey bit, Form 1, wild flailing. Anyways, by now you probably know that I'll be fighting in the Creator Clash, a boxing event for charity featuring all sorts of big creator names you'd recognize, unless you're a small child who hatched out of an egg last week. Who are these irrelevant people? I don't recognize them. Feed me chewed up worms. iDubbbz and Anissa have put this whole thing together to help some good causes. Some favorite YouTubers of mine are on the card, and I myself will be fighting AB from the H3H3 podcast. You can get tickets to watch the stream for like $25 at thecreatorclash.com. It's going to be supporting the Alzheimer's Foundation, the American Heart Association, and it's going to be a good show. A few weeks ago, I was on a Happy Punch Twitter Spaces conversation, and Keemstar said there wasn't enough beef between the fighters in this event, and that beef is what sells tickets.
You know, everyone's kind of saying, like, we want to do something respectful to boxing. We don't want any drama. And it's like, two people are going in the ring to punch each other. Like, you need drama. Like, that is drama. Like, what? Like, where is the beef?
Now, at the time of this video, almost all of the in-person tickets have been sold out, and online ticket sales are doing very well, but it does raise an interesting point. The roster being well-adjusted humans who want to personally challenge ourselves and do some good for charity. Boring. Boring, idiots. This is not how you sell tickets. So in the spirit of doing more to make this show a success, I have personally taken on myself to provoke every other fighter in this fighting event. As long as you go to thecreatorclash.com, get yourself a ticket. Listen, if you're like me, you probably buy your usual pay-per-view tickets about 5 minutes before the fight. Why not get one now? Take a load off, have it ready to go. No worries, it's gonna be great. And to my fellow pugilists, please remember, all of you are wildly more successful and popular than me by a very wide margin. So when I make fun of you, it's punching up, but if you defend yourself from me, it's punching down, and nobody likes a bully, okay?
I said leave me alone!
You want trouble, huh?
Let's move up from the bottom of the list here, starting with Michael Reeves versus Stefan. Michael Reeves and I share a coach, so I have to root for him no matter what, but even if I didn't, dude is a genius, makes amazing videos, and when we all ran up Dante's Peak, the famous trail that Pacquiao runs here in LA, this dude just straight up ran up the mountain without stopping. Michael, your cardio is insane, so unless Graham is training to fight someone with the energy levels of a field mouse on PCP, I think you've got this in the bag. So with that in mind, my only remaining questions are, is it annoying when Dee comes into your gym and interrupts you while you're sparring? Is your conditioning so good because you've already spent all this time getting ready to fight the Batman? If I had known that we were going to have the same coach, I would have lobbied the boxing commission for us to fight Master Blaster style. It's a bit of a missed opportunity, but I think you've got it in the bag. Graham, you've got your work cut out for you. Now, you're as good with money and investing as Michael is with robots and tasers, so this will be a little bit like a fist fight breaking out in the middle of AP Calculus. Meanwhile, the rest of the matches are like a recess brawl between the kids who failed a grade about who gets to use the best basketballs at lunchtime. Now, I know this boxing event may feel a little overwhelming to you, but if you just break it down in your usual style, you may find some common ground. Let's say you're a wildly successful YouTuber with no reason to risk physical injury doing something for a good cause. And waiting at the end of the fight is a serious physical injury like a broken nose. What's cool here is that if you take the total cost of reconstructive surgery and divide it by how many punches it takes Michael to give you the broken nose, we'll actually be able to put a dollar amount on how much every punch from Michael personally costs you. Pretty neat, huh? At 5'3", at least you and Michael will be seeing things eye to eye. Just make sure you don't bump into the ref's shins while you're in the ring. You know, I actually got my hands on some sparring footage between the two of you recently. Let's check it out. Wow, you guys are looking really good. It's gonna be a great match. Good luck, guys. Up next is I Did a Thing versus The Odd Ones Out. I Did a Thing has a great list of achievements as video titles. I made the world's most powerful hammer. I made a shark-proof wetsuit. Just think how nicely I got knocked out by an animator who sits in a chair for 14 hours a day will look right up there alongside the others. Your latest video has you building some sort of boxing glove gun to just straight up kill your opponent, like some kind of Wish.com Tony Stark. Unfortunately for my video, I saw that you also devoted an entire video to building something to keep frogs and lizards from drowning in your backyard pool. And due to this extremely good vibes action on your part, I cannot in good conscience start any beef with you. Now, since your opponent also shares a coach with me, I must officially take the stance that you're gonna lose. So, boo, boo, you stinky apron wearer, boo! The Odd Ones Out, as I mentioned, you also share a coach with me. The dude is apparently collecting us like Pokemon, and thus I am contractually obligated to support you, comrade. However, I do have actual beef with you, and it's that you put a hole in the wall of our boxing gym. You fell into the wall sparring, and you said you were gonna fix it. But here it is months later, and I'm still looking at this hole, dude. A drywall kit at Home Depot was like $10. Are you gonna animate over the hole like Roger Rabbit? Let's keep this moving. Matt Watson versus Dad. Matt, I love your music, but what are you doing here, bro? You have the muscle mass of a Bloodborne boss with none of the attack patterns. You're like a dude who went to the mall to buy a copy of Drawing Nudes 2 from the Japanese bookstore and got pressured into getting a gym membership by some jock standing in front of the Gold's Gym across from the food court. I recommended you some mass gainer in our boxing Discord, but then I heard later you just been drinking cream to gain weight. Rest in peace, Matt Watson. Your collab with Jacob was really good. Dad, you're a fictional character played by Nathan Barnett, so it's a little hard for me to start beef with you given that you don't actually exist, but I'm gonna give it my best shot anyway. On a personal level, I have to give you thanks for saving me from the role of oldest, baldest guy in the boxing event. It was pretty close there for a second. Now, you've been around forever, and you have great abs, but I also know you're old enough to have seen Children of the Corn, and that's pretty much the situation you're walking into here. YouTubers over the age of 40 are immediately escorted to their deaths by creepy children with unsettling smiles. Only Casey Neistat has survived because he flew himself out of the corn with a prototype drone or something. Anyways, Dad, Nathan, I know you're good at acting and playing characters, so on behalf of everyone on YouTube born before 1991, please play the role of someone who doesn't get their ass kicked by a 26-year-old Minecrafter. Alex Ernst versus Ryan Magee. Alex, I think you're the only colleague of David Dobrik who specifically went out of his way to get hit in the head by something. You looked at Jeff Wittick and his neurosurgeon and went, I want what they have. However, in your announcement video, you did knock out Ryan in a Wii Sports simulation, which I have decided to go ahead and try for my matchup. Family. What were we talking about? Ryan Magee? Well, if memory serves, Ryan kinda has the energy of the half-stone employee at a Zoomy skate shop. Likeable, harmless, absolutely no threat to anyone in the— Oh no, he's hot! Yodeling Haley versus Minx. Okay, I don't know how the state of Florida authorized a child to participate in a blood sport, but here we are. Haley, did you get a contract like the rest of us, or did your mom just fill out a field trip permission slip? Haley, when you train with your coach, do you do pad work, or does he just hand you a CNC? I'd call Child Protective Services, but I'm worried they'd pick up Michael Reeves too, so I'm just gonna wish you the best of luck. Here's a piece of artwork depicting how I think your fight with Minx will go. Minx, assuming you actually have practiced your cardio and you don't pour yourself a drink during one of the rounds, I think you've pretty much got this in the bag. Now, since I know English is a second language for you, I've gone ahead and outsourced some of my shit talking to someone's actual dad in Ireland. Unfortunately for me, he was so proud of you, he refused to do any actual shit talking.
Justaminx, the entirety of Ireland is watching and waiting for you to win this matchup. You need to be focused or you'll be the one yodeling for your life. You're a class act. We don't want to be seeing you battered like a sausage. Hoping to be having a point in your honour when you kick the shite out of your woman. But if you lose, we'll be just the mad Irish show that lost. The Emerald Isle is rooting for you. We're all behind you. We'll even light the candle for you. Go on, you good thing, Minx. Cheers.
What a waste of a long-distance phone call. Hundar versus AB. Well, we'll come back to that one at the end, yeah? Internet Comment Etiquette versus DJ Welch. Mr. Etiquette, I don't know how you got screwed so badly on this one. You went from having to box a dude who has to get trashed every week on a podcast to some dude who actually looks pretty good in his promo photo. However, I saw him in the boxing Discord asking about anime walkout songs, and so sadly I am unable to rate him higher than the rest of the weebs in this competition. Since this was a pretty last-minute matchup, I'm just gonna wait for the crackheads in front of my local 7-Eleven to get into a fight, then blast the JoJo Stardust Crusaders theme out of my car speakers at max volume, and then I'll have a much better sense for how this match is gonna go.
Harley Morenstein is here.
All right.
Versus Egoraptor. Harley, you're a Canadian who aspired to have the cholesterol levels of the average American, and I have to give you props for making that dream a reality. You're an absolute OG, and I'm honored to be in this event with you. And the good news is, no matter what Arin does to your face, there's no way it could be worse than that time Schick Hydro made you shave it clean. May you and your beard prosper, bro. Arin, you probably don't remember, but one time you invited me and Cowchop under your roof for a podcast, and you were so nice and accommodating. Now, all these years later, here I stand looking for blood for the purposes of this video, but to be honest, I don't really have much. With that in mind, I've outsourced my shit talking to that most savage of critics, the YouTube fan base. I asked a Game Grumps superfan to write me a list of sick burns for this video. Let's see what she came up with. Arin can't beatbox for shit, and it's unclear if he knows this. Arin doesn't even animate anymore. Dan is everyone's favorite, and Arin is the sidekick on his own channel. Cowchop did the 10-minute power hour 5 years ago and did it better. Okay. Arin, I can't wait for the next game from your company's studio, Post-Concussion Syndrome Daddy Simulator. iDubbbz versus Dr. Mike, the big one. Ian, I respect the hours and hours that went into training and eating and eating and eating that allowed you to put on all this extra weight just so your body can make a louder sound when it finally hits that canvas floor. It's that dedication to showmanship and giving the fans what they want that really makes you something special. Transforming from this guy into some sort of Joe Dirt on human growth hormone proves you'll always keep us guessing. Much like people guessing whether to bet on a second or third round finish for Dr. Mike. All jokes aside, bro, I actually truly believe you're gonna take this one. Dr. Mike, we get it. You've got the good looks that would land you a role on a soap opera. So it's a great comfort to me that iDubbbz is about to make you as ugly as the rest of us. The good news is that even then, you'll retain the kind of name brand recognition that puts you up there with other greats like Dr. Oz, Dr. Kevorkian, and Dr. Nick. Yes, you've been punched by Ryan Garcia while wearing a gut shield, which I plan to follow up by having Tyson Fury punch me while I wear the suit from the Hurt Locker. And sure, you've been boxing for 10 years, which is a statement so open to interpretation that I don't know what to do with it. Yes, me and Chase Elliott have both been driving cars for 10 years. Me and Gordon Ramsay have both been cooking for 10 years. And hey, I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years, and look how well it's going for me. Bottom line, the only crap that will need a kickstart after this fight is gonna be Dr. Mike's reputation. AB versus Hundar. AB, or as my coach calls you, two-letter name guy, or as my group chat calls you, charming. What can I say that dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people haven't said already?
So help me God, if I see one more comment that says AB is the door, I'm gonna lose it.
Remember what I said about nostalgia earlier? But the important thing here is that I don't think I'm gonna beat you because I had bigger muscles when we started this. I think I'm gonna beat you because I 100%ed Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. My capacity for masochism is simply hardwired differently than you, friend. I know you've been training hard, but please take note. I volunteered to be pepper sprayed multiple times in a row. I volunteered to eat Carolina Reapers and Satan's blood and every other godless brand of hellfire in the Spice Gauntlet. I volunteered to simply jam a stun gun into my own leg out of curiosity. What exactly is it you think you're bringing to the table that's new here? Pain? Brother, I've been avoiding therapy for a decade. Trauma is the name of the game. Best case scenario for you, you beat the living shit out of me, and I still get to reenact my favorite scene from Fight Club.
Unbelievable. You don't know where I've been, Lou. Oh my God! You don't know where I've been!
I know you've been running with this whole underdog narrative, but guess what? You're gonna get that silver play button before me, which means I'm the absolute bottom of the barrel here, kid. So it's with peace and love that my official shit-talking stance is, I'm gonna hit you so hard it knocks H3H3 back to the Dunny era, which was the last time your boss didn't have beef with someone on the internet. But just think about how good you're gonna look in the world's first ever Teddy Fresh body cast. And the good news is, when the nurse goes in to give you your transfusion, your blood type will be right there on your name tag. All contrived shit-talking aside, I know we're gonna have a great fight. Let's get out there, put on a great show, and I'll see you in the ring, champ. And I hope to see the rest of you, either in person May 14th, or with your digital eyes upon me via thecreatorclash.com. Get those tickets. I'll see you later.